I wasn't on stages like this. I was on rap stages rapping about, violence and guns. That we get paid to rap about that stuff. They actually pay us more.
Greetings, y'all, and welcome to Seek Things Above TV. I'm your host, Lou Ciccone. So before we hop into today's topic, man, if you like content like this, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And also ring the bell for notifications because it helps with the algorithm, as you know, and it is much appreciated. So let's hop into the topic for today. As you know, we have had this conversation in the last couple weeks, I think, at this point, of what was sparked by D1 calling out a few popular rappers and talking about the hypocrisy within the hip hop game as they promote violence on one end, but claim to love their communities on the other end. So in the previous video, which I will link for you over here if you haven't seen it, that we did on the channel, we spoke about D1 and really his responses that were from like Rick Ross and Jim Jones and some of the other stuff that went on, but we never really got to look at what Meek Mill had to say about it. And interestingly enough, I feel like what Meek Mill had to say really shows that people within the industry, not just artists, but labels as well, as we're going to see, understand that there is this hypocrisy going on, yet they choose to turn a blind eye and display a willful ignorance of the whole thing. So I'm going to share this clip for y'all to check out, and this is actually Meek Mill at an event earlier this year talking about these very issues that are the topic of discussion. So let's go ahead and play this for y'all.
Me, I come from a ruthless environment. I grew up in a hood where it isn't any rules. We have morals. We never lost morals, but it's ruthless in that environment. Through all that I grew up in, I still never lost my care for all types of people. I never was taught that way, not to care about all types of people, and I would never lose that. And me and people like Robert, myself, he opened doors for me to be on stages like this, because before I wasn't on stages like this. I was on rap stages rapping about, violence and guns. That we get paid to rap about that stuff. They actually pay us more when we rap about more ignorant stuff, so I make sure I even a line and come talking on stages like this. But you guys, the NAACP, open up doors for people like me to be able to power forward, because the things that fund us, that don't power me forward. I just make sure, because I know better and I'm at an age point, I'm 36, they power us really went from when we 21 to 25, where we really don't know. I'm one of the lucky ones that made it through where I was able to get my knowledge and sense, and I'm the one that keep the line on the rap ignorance and be able to level out conversations like these and deliver it to the young people who may not attend things like this. So I would just say I appreciate you guys for given me this opportunity.
So in that clip, you get to see Meek Mill talking about how he is, trying to balance things out, right? Trying to balance things out by speaking at these events while he still does the stuff that he does. And honestly, man, I think as you look at his Twitter feed, you start to see that this man is actually very conflicted about all of these issues. So this first tweet here says, "I rap about what I rap about because I've been traumatized by that lifestyle and I can't remove the thoughts, but I do high level rap. And when I stayed on that, people said I was falling off." Okay. Here's another one. It says, "Being a real rapper basically is being a person who is used till they're soulless." All right. Till they're soulless. They have no soul left. And that is the way that you become a real rapper. Right. And then there's this one that says, "If you hear me speak on violence, it's from my dad and many of my close friends being killed. It's from a survival standpoint. When I see that footage of my brothers PNB and Nipsey, only made my mentality worse because I know they wanted to protect themselves in that environment." So that's talking about, the shooting of Nipsey and, the effects of that had on him, right? And also seeing his own father killed, which is very tragic, very sad. There's this internal struggle going on. And in and of himself, he knows that there's a conflict here. He can clearly see there's a conflict here. And if you look at that clip that we watched earlier, you can see that he's fully aware of what's going on here. So let's take a look at what D1 had to say in response to Meek Mill when this all went down.
Meek Mill, thank you for your reply to my video post, brother. But most importantly, thank you for your honesty and your transparency in your reply. The fact that we could be on different sides of the fence with this or have different opinions, but still remain respectful and actually address the topic at hand and not try to deflect, that makes a huge statement to all the millions of people watching this, and it actually empowers them. Now, you said, "Nah, we do everything, LOL," implying that you could be the face of prison reform and you could still be glorifying murder inside of your music. And you said, "I've been rapping this way since before I was the face of prison reform." Y'all forgot that fast? No, fam, we didn't forget that fast. But through watching your evolution, we look forward to seeing you evolve musically as well, because your music still touches and has the ability to empower millions of people, bro. That way it's not confusing or misleading to people. I know as an artist you could be thinking, but man, what if I lose some of my fans when I'm making that change because they like me for the old stuff? Trust me, brother, anybody that you lose when becoming a better version of yourself, that wasn't of God, and you're going to be better because of their loss. You will actually gain because of their loss. But when we have something called cognitive dissonance and willful ignorance that we're employing because we know better, but it's just harder to do better, man, that's the reason why I'm going to keep you in my prayers, and I'm genuinely rooting for you, bro. I want you to get there, brother. Shine your musical light. I love you, man.
So that was D1's response to Meek Mill after Meek Mill's tweet that simply said, "Nah, we do everything, LOL," which was him replying to the Sway in the Morning interview. Seeing what we've seen thus far, looking at some of this brother's tweets over here, we can see that there is a willful action happening on his part to turn a blind eye to these things. So let's move on past where we're just looking at rappers who are revealing that there's something wrong, even though they may not be wanted to. Let's now look at something else, which is record sales and the hip hop industry from just a bird's eye view real quick. So as we look at record sales, we can actually start by looking at this tweet by Meek Mill. It says, "Me and Ross on pace to sell 35K first week. I would post if it said 350K. I'm too nice and rich to be rapping in a controlled music environment. That's why we dropping music on Fridays. It doesn't make sense. Now we all own our music. We getting the tech built to put people on our own musical subscriptions, and we gonna let direct to consumer see if rap is doing well." So he's responding here to some people actually pointing out the fact that the album hasn't sold a lot. Okay, so some people are pointing that out, but to be fair, this is the trend for hip hop in general right now. Hip hop is just not selling that much. So just a few months ago, DJ Ebro posted something on his Twitter feed that actually ended up on OK Player here, and this was the story right here. It says, Ebro says record labels are prioritizing Afro beats and Latin music over rap. So the Ebro in the Morning co-host said that he received a call regarding rap's alleged troubled future, and the record labels are placing importance on Afro beats and Latin music. This is the actual tweet here, and it says, "I got a call saying, it should be noted, many major record labels have deprioritized signing rappers. The focus is now African music and Latin music. Rappers better stop being boring and talking about the same stuff over and over, chasing TikTok success in comment sections." And so hip hop just isn't selling the same as it used to. And I would venture to say that part of that is because the trouble that record labels have at times dealing with rappers and dealing with their issues and the controversy surrounding some of the things that they say is just not worth the hassle for them. And it could also be that the general public, people who consume this music, well, not everybody, but in a large population, I should say, of the general public is having some sort of fatigue of hearing the same things over and over again. And that couldn't be truer when you look at what are the most popular, hip hop songs, or the most popular styles within hip hop right now. It's all surrounding its debauchery, its violence. It's the same thing over and over again. There's nothing new being created by most people here. And so people are getting tired. People are getting tired. Labels are getting tired of people not consuming it. And I honestly think that it's because folks recognize that the content is poisonous. A lot of people recognize that. Not everybody, but the people who are actually going to spend money on it are starting to recognize that. Now, obviously, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of young folks who don't care, and that is what it is. But this is a reality that you can't escape from. Hip hop is just not selling the same. It is not selling the same as it used to anymore. So looking at this whole situation, we can definitely see that there is something going on in the hip hop industry. And there's something wrong with the music and those who are making it. And it seems that even those who are consuming it are aware of this. Now, I don't know if this whole conversation is going to lead to a shift in how people make music. I really doubt that. I think that because people are so concerned with their financial gain at the end of the day, they're going to continue to do what they do. But in knowing that all this is happening and in seeing people's responses, in particular, like we just saw Meek Mill's responses to all this, I think that it is clear that if people continue to do what they're doing, the sad reality of it is they are heaping judgment upon themselves from God. And that's just inescapable. They are heaping the judgment of God on themselves as they continue to promote violence and debauchery in the music. And in the end, you may gain the whole world, but you will lose your soul if you go down this road. As the Bible says, it is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God. And God is not mocked. You can continue to do all these things and pretend that you don't know what you're doing while you're making your pockets fatter. But at the end of the day, you're going to have to suffer the consequences for that. And I don't want that for anybody. I don't want that for anybody. My exhortation to you is to repent and believe the gospel of Jesus Christ and turn away from this wickedness. So let me know what y'all's thoughts are in the comment section below. I would love to hear from y'all. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And if then you have been raised with Christ, seek the things that are above where Christ is, seated at the right hand of God. Set your minds on things that are above, not on things that are on earth. All right? God bless y'all, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.